What do you want?
This is Paige.
Hi, I'm Jeff.
Welcome to
To
Putt.
Putt. Let me tell you a little bit about this place right here. First of all, my nickname is 3rd Gen. Paige's nickname is 4th Gen. The reason for that is she's the 4th generation that's lived on this property. I obviously am the 3rd. Oh yeah, so although it says Redfield Manor, our business is really Redfield Harvest. And a little later on today, we'll take you through the sugaring shack where we process our honey and our maple syrup and things like that. All right, so the way this operation works is this is a sugar maple. There's actually 6 different types of maple trees. Only the sugar maple produces a sap with a high enough sugar content to make maple syrup. So what we do during the flowing season, which is from mid-February to late March, when it's above freezing during the day but freezing at night, that's when the sap flows. So we'll come in and we'll drill a hole into the tree, we'll put the tap in, and then from that tap the sap will flow down here through one of these lines into the thicker blue line. And then what we're going to do is we're going to walk down the line and we'll get down to the sugar shack, which is where we have our collection booth, which is also where we have our evaporator. I'm going to show you this process works. So basically what happens is that main line flows right into this building. We have an on-off switch. This is our collection unit, which is upside down right now, but that's a trough that'll hold 300 gallons of maple sap. And then what we do is from the sap, we have a sump pump that we use. There's the sump pump, and it'll flow right into the evaporator. And this guy that's all covered up right now is the evaporator where we take the maple syrup, maple sap, and cook it down into the maple syrup. Now, the whole process of evaporation is all based on trying to get rid of the extra moisture. It's a 50-to-1 reduction ratio. So this literally has a series of different slats that go down about 5 inches. And we'll look inside in a minute, but when the fire is going, you just have a massive surface that is getting superheated that's used to then evaporate up all the extra sap. This room will fill literally with steam when this thing is cooked up and going. We have major vent systems, fan systems, just to try to suck some of that out of the building when we're going. This whole system is a wood-burning evaporator. So we literally just put our logs in there, we get a little fire going, and then this thing just superheats, and that's how you're able to burn off the extra water that is in the maple sap. When you get down near the end of the process, we would be draining off the nearly finished maple syrup from here. Then we transport it over into this device, which we call a finisher. And in the finisher, you get it down to the proper sugar content. And this thing would run with a propane heater, and it just gets the final amount off. I haven't got it here right now, but we have a gauge that we use to test the sugar content. And then when it's perfect, we would go into bottling. And the bottling literally is you take the bottle, you come right out of the finisher, and you're able to pour the maple syrup. So if you look at these 2 bottles, you're going to notice this one is very dark and this is very light. What that does is it tells you the time of the year where this was made. Early in the season, you're going to have a much lighter syrup. Later in the season, you're going to have a dark syrup. So part of the grading of syrups is there's a grade A and a grade B, and that's dependent on the darkness of the content. So normally, the early flow of the season, when the sugar is the highest, you're going to be a little bit lighter, and that's going to be called a grade A syrup. A little bit later in the season, you're going to have a darker, and that'll be your grade B syrup. This is a burn pit, and these burn pits are located in 3 different parts of the property, and they're all designed based on the way the wind flow is in terms of the opening. So I've got openings on the east side, I've got openings on the west side, I've got one with an opening on the north side and the south side, because you want to have the burn based on the way the wind is flowing in, so the ash and the embers won't get out of it.
The Redfields are also beekeepers. Here are some of the hives that they have in their front part of their property. They also have several others around this part of town. It's a very active hive. You can see bees coming in and out of the taller hive there in the middle. And it also helps for pollinate the garden that you just saw. Not only is Putt Farm self-sufficient by way of growing their own food and honey and other substances like that, they're also sustainable with their energy consumption. Here you see an array of 5 solar panels which lead to the integrators you will see in the road, and I'll talk about in a second.
Basically, we've got a set of 5 panels that generate electricity. They both come in here. From here, it goes, one set goes into here, which is for the guest house. The other one goes over there, which is the electricity for the main house. These are the inverters that take it from DC over to AC, which is the power the buildings use. From here, they feed into the meter systems, so one for each house. Lets us know how much electricity we're actually creating. There's an emergency kill switch on both of them in case we have a power outage or something and we don't want to zap the guys that are working the lines in the field. And then from there, it goes through the main metering system. Anything that we're not using gets put back into the grid, and that's how we pay for the solar panels. Let's go, Laura. Take this baby out.
Well.
Oh, go, girl.
Pull. Got it. Oh yeah! Got it. Woohoo! Pull. Woo!
Paige is making stoli-bolies. A stoli-boli is approximately 3 fingers of frozen Kettle One or stoli, if you're being a purist. And then on top of it, wow, those are big stoli-bolis. On top of it, you pour chilled champagne. The whole key to why a stoli-boli is so much fun on a Sunday afternoon is because the bubbles, the carbonation in the champagne gets into your bloodstream quicker, and your liver literally cannot process the alcohol that quickly, and so you get buzzed really quickly because your liver's basically shutting down. And that's why we love stoli-bolis. Always, always remember the #1 rule. Wait till after you shoot to drink stoli-bolis.
Cheers! Cheers! Yay! Yay! House closer! Cheers! Closer together! Yay!